I was around 6 or 7 months pregnant with my son Willie Boy and my kids last year, because they would always play with their uncle, my brother Gussie. I suppose they caught it from him. He was the youngest one out of all of us. My mom had 5 kids. I guess the main thing about him was like he had lots of friends. Everyone loved him, and he was so outgoing and just like he was like a people person. His body started getting weak, and it was mostly his feet. His feet was sore, his legs were sore, like the rest of his body was sore, and so when he was brought to the clinic, that's when they noticed that he was really sick.
It was so unexpected that the doctor in Gussie told me he's not feeling well. I have to put him to sleep and make him sedated, and I told Gussie that. And Gussie said, no, I don't want him to put to sleep.
And then it turned into a heart attack, and they revived him, and then a few hours later he died after that. Rest in peace.
I was so lost. My mind was lost. I was only crying all by myself. So devastating. It's so hard. What I went through with Gussie was so hard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still traumatized yet. He was my boy, my hockey boy, my favorite boy. And he was loved by everybody, everybody in town, and happy kid.
I picture him in the lobby right outside the canteen there, and he's waiting. Ed, you need a goalie? Yeah, get dressed. That's what I remember him. He's always waiting out there to be a goalie. That's what I remember him, and that's what I miss about him the most. He'd run up after school, run right to the rink, and he'd wait for me to ask him to be in it. That's what I will always remember him, you know. It happened so fast, nobody knew. Like, everyone knew he was sick, but nobody knew what was wrong with him. But like, it affected a lot of kids, and I wanted to have a tournament just to honor his memory. Like, all the kids couldn't wait to play. Like, they were so excited. The whole town was excited. Like, it was an emotional tournament, but it was closure for all of us, you know, that never had a chance to say goodbye to Gussie. Well, we miss him dearly, but we honor his memory with his tournament, and he'll always live on in the Nain minor hockey, and he will never be forgotten. Yeah.
You want to come in, see what it... Yeah. I think I was around that age, 10 or 11, when I went to St. Anthony, when I had TB the second time. I guess if you've had TB, it's always in the back of your mind. For me, it is, having been hospitalized twice. This time I was sent to St. Anthony. They had hospital there, and there was a sanatorium in the back. But there were about 10 of us, female. Because I was there for 2 years, I became very attached to some of the patients that were in the ward with me.
Good girl. Good girl.
I don't know if it'll ever be eliminated or totally cured.
Nunat sevukar mga inusit seritutit sirasoni mut pivatlea kulluit ilakalluti ilinneavit soami iani akkisiu yeami ilinneera soayuit pitsutigilligu.
Due to the TB outbreak in 2018, they are focusing on residents of Nain and Hopedale. The TB sharing circle is scheduled for tonight here in Nain at the DHSD building.
When we had the first announcement that there was an outbreak in Nain, people more or less panicked, you know, saying, what am I going to do? How can I get tested? Who has it? How do I not get it? I was one of the people that tested positive, and I had to go to Goose Bay. I went on a plane, what they called it, labeled as a TB plane now. At the time, you used to have to wear a mask. You'd be unloaded in Goose Bay, wearing your mask. People watching you in the airport and they're wondering what the heck was wrong with us, you know. Like it's once it's on you, it's hard to get rid of, you know, that labeling. Families are living together with their own families, sometimes up to 20 or more in one household. And when you get together like that in one household and somebody has TB, they don't know it, that TB disease passed by is airborne, you know. After a while, you know, it's going to affect the other people in the community, in your family.
So oftentimes if someone is healthy, you know, they have a good immune system, they have a healthy diet, they're living in, you know, good housing conditions with good ventilation. Oftentimes people can live their entire lifetime and the disease never activates, it just lives dormant in our lungs, and you know, people live with their lifetime and may not even know they even have the germ in their body. But for those who may you know, not have access to nutritious food, nutritious diet, are living in poor, overcrowded housing, poor ventilation, sometimes you know, living with addictions issues, alcohol use and abuse, tobacco smoking, for example, all those things can contribute to reducing our immune system, and then those bugs wake up in our lungs, and that's what causes active disease. The classic symptoms of TB is a cough, so usually, but it's a chronic cough, so at least 3 weeks or longer. And sometimes patients will experience, you know, they're coughing up a lot of sputum. Sometimes people may have blood in their sputum. And oftentimes they will experience night sweats. So by night sweats, I mean not just waking up because you're warm. It's like you're actually wet and sweat. There's oftentimes people will experience like their appetite is not well. They'll notice a big change in appetite. With that, of course, will come weight loss. We always tell people if you're ill and you're not feeling well and you have these symptoms, to you know, make an appointment with your healthcare provider.
Mamak tutik. Oh, my back. Sleepy. My baba sleepy. Yeah. He's too tired. Personally, for my kids, I didn't expect them to have TB, but just knowing that they did have TB and there was medication provided, and they helped my kids to follow through with the medication, and having those services there, like my kids getting the x-rays and having the sputum tests and all that. I just feel lucky that we're in a time now we do have these services, and my kids are still here. Even though we lost my brother, their uncle, we are still here, so we do have these services, and I'm just glad for it. It's heartwarming, actually, just feeling like in some way some of Gussie's personalities is growing on Daniel. So they were two very different people, but I think when Daniel was growing up, he was humorous too, but ever since Gussie passed away, Daniel's humor just lifted so much. So Daniel is always joking around now, because I think he knew that Gussie joked around a lot. So Daniel jokes around a lot more now. The day Gussie passed away is the day before Juliana's birthday, so I think that affects her in that way. Her birthday is coming up, and his 1-year anniversary is coming up, so I'm nervous for it to come, but it needs to come. Just losing my brother and at the same time having my baby, it's something bad but something good out of it. So even though like there's moments come like you got no choice but to grieve and you got no choice to carry on, it really is scary, and like one of your family members could just die, and with us it was my brother who just passed away from TB, and it's heartbreaking, but at the same time afterwards it's like heartwarming because it just brings us all together, and all the love that you got for your family, it just makes it stronger.